Welcome back to the Book Breathing Bitch Queens podcast. I'm Sam.
And I'm Allie.
So this week we'll be talking about chapter 27, where it's our sexy chapter. It's where Tamlin and Feyre finally get a little physical, and there's some conversation that's happening.
Yes.
So you said that you did not have a whole lot of notes. I have notes.
Yeah, I mean, I had some things, but not as much as I thought I was going to have, I guess.
I mean, to be honest, for a sex chapter, it's 2 paragraphs, maybe.
Yeah, there's actually a lot more of their conversation.
Yeah.
Which I had kind of forgotten about.
I have some thoughts about the dynamics of Tamlin and Feyre here, and
yes,
I don't think this is healthy, is what I'm getting at.
Okay.
But let's go.
Okay, so we start off with Tamlin sends Luzan and Feyre away, and he says, I need space to have my Tamtrum.
Yes.
Full
Tamtrum.
And that's crazy. That's like, thinking about it now, I'm like, that's ew.
I wrote giant red flag.
Yeah. Like, if that's the guy I'm dating, I'm like, bye.
I don't know how I didn't see that in the first time around.
Maybe because he's so rich, you think, oh, he could do that. That's what rich.
also one sentence in a whole lot of stuff. So, like, on the first read through, I can see, right, like...
Yeah, I've forgotten that he trashed it.
Yeah, it's 2 sentences, right? It was even more of an effort not to recall the roaring that rattled the chandelier, or the cracking of shattered furniture that echoed through the house. But the ripples of Tamlin's rage echoed through it, reverberating in the wood and the stone and the glass. So there's sentences apart. But I wrote giant red flag, and then the next one was like the ripples of Tamlin's rage echoing through the house. I wrote that's an exhaustingly anxious environment.
Yes.
Like,
oh my god.
Walking on eggshells that happens in this manner is so crazy. And it also kind of pisses me off that I didn't pick up on that the first time, because I literally lived in that kind of environment for like a majority of my fucking adolescence and into adulthood. And I'm like, hey, crazy bitch, you know better. You know what this is. How did you not see that? And now it's just glaring. I'm like, who throws temper tantrums? Like, and I get it. Like, maybe like we're trying to be like, oh, the stakes are high stakes.
Yeah.
Like yeah. Like, Rhys came in and made him like beg on the ground, and he's a high lord, and like that, all the implications of that. I get that. But at the same time, like, at the end of the day, this guy is literally tearing a room apart. He's being violent. He's so angry and frustrated and whatever that it's resulting in violence.
Yeah, just because he sent you away.
And that it's so, like, that's, I don't know. The guy who can throw a table, like turn a table over, is the guy who can hit you.
Yeah. Well, and it's really, this is why we can't be taking men's emotions seriously. I'm just kidding. But it's just like, when a man gets angry, we assume it's justified.
Yeah.
If it was, I feel like it is part of that kind of vibes, like, if he's throwing it, it's because the stakes are so high that he's tearing up a room in his house. Like, ew.
Yeah, or that, like, the saving grace is that he asked them to leave, right? But that's not what happens in the next book. In the next book, he hurts her. And you're like, yeah, we saw this. We saw this here. We saw the volatility of Tamlin on page 242. Like, it was right there in front of us that he has the ability to be violent, and like a man who is able to like throw a plate or a cup or fucking across the room, or like be a little too aggressive, is a man who will hit you at some point.
Yeah.
And
no, it's definitely huge.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm just so frustrated that I didn't see that warning sign earlier. So that's my own thing. But even when I'm like looking at this, I'm like, so we're starting the chapter off. Like, granted, there's craziness. Rhys has to answer for his own shit, but right now we're looking at Tammy Boy.
Yeah.
We're starting the sex chapter with walking on eggshells.
And they have sex as a result of his apology, which is very, like, talks, you
Not
know?
only as a result of his apology, but as a way, like a last ditch effort for her to be allowed to stay.
Yeah.
Like
E even if she didn't mean it
I mean,
like that, and was horny, it still is that's what how it happens.
yeah, I mean, I wrote that down. Like, is this out of desire and want, or is this out of like a,
It's both, yeah.
and yeah, absolutely. And like that's not great. And we all have sex for all sorts of reasons, and that's fine. But
Yeah.
like, if you want me to be in a book where I'm supposed to think that these two people are the fucking end game, it's a little rough.
Yeah. Which is more satisfying knowing that it's because he's not her end game,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
So it's like, "Oh, it really was here the whole time." It wasn't
yeah.
just, I changed my
I
mind
am
in Miss and Fury." It
I
was
am
there.
so fucking afraid of rereading Crescent City and being like, they are so not meant for each other. But I digress.
I know, I hate the hunt theories, dude.
I not only do I hate the hunt theories, but I hate the Bryriel theory.
No, that's what I mean by the hunt theories, is those theories that yeah.
I get it. I mean, I'll be here for it. I love it, whatever. But there's something about Bryce and Azriel. This is so fucked up. There's something about the two of them together that I'm like, you could do better, Azriel. That's
Yeah.
why I don't want
It's
him with
just
Elaine. You could do better.
some part of my brain goes, okay, so the three bat boys get the three MMCs, like, you
Yeah, I don't like
know,
that. It's too
there's
easy.
something weird. It
Yeah.
still feels like the reason that I don't want him with Elaine is because it's like three sisters, three things,
Yeah,
and like
yeah. It's too
Bryce is kind
simple.
of just she's a main character. I don't know. It just there's something just off. He needs like a side character who's normal. He needs a Manon like type character,
He needs
Or
Gwen.
like yeah. Yeah, Gwen is perfect like
Gwen
that.
is perfect.
Or even someone else, like, I'm not set
Yeah.
on him and Gwen just because I mean, it's cool, but, like, I'm not, like, obsessed with it, but
Yeah.
oh, I no, I am kind of obsessed with him and Eris, though. I think that would be so
I'm so obsessed with him and Eris. Let's go. Like,
yeah,
please,
I know it's not really that much emotion, but I just
please,
mm,
please. Although there's a theory about there's some interesting theories about the Moor being dropped off and Eris not touching her and her having an iron stake driven through her belly.
and what does that have to do with Eris or Azriel?
Because so when she was dropped off, right, her family had her family found out that she slept with Cassian,
Mhm.
and they nailed with an iron nail, they nailed a note to her stomach that was like, she's yours now, or whatever. And when Eris found her, he said, don't touch her. And then that's when Azriel found her, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Esterin, whatever, fucking estrogen over
Uh-huh.
here with the 13, right?
Yeah.
When Manon's grandma found out that she got pregnant from a
Oh.
human, carved unclean in her stomach with an iron nail.
Not you mean her iron
Her
nails.
iron nails. And so they're like, oh, well, is more a witch, which we've talked about that theory, but also like the iron, they're like, well, I mean, I know that iron doesn't do anything, right? We
Uh-huh.
established that.
Well, in this world.
Yes, but they were also thinking like, well, what if she was pregnant with Cassian's child and like the nail was like the abortifacient? And that's why he didn't, I don't know. There's all sorts of weird things that she got knocked up
Oh.
that day. And um
Imagine having sex one single time and getting pregnant immediately.
yeah, there was a whole MTV show about that.
Wait, but that was just called like 16 and pregnant, right? It wasn't like
Yeah.
the first time they had sex, was
No,
it?
but I think there was one couple other that was like, yeah, we did it once.
It's
I don't
crazy.
remember, but yeah, that would be some bullshit. I'd be kind of pissed. Um,
Uh,
but
yeah, the
it can
more
happen.
theories.
All you young people out there, use protection. I did find it interesting that she says at last a name to go with the female presence that stalked their lives. So the first time she hears Amarantha's name is with Rhys.
Does he say it? I thought he
He
did too,
says it.
actually.
He says it, but I thought that last
Yeah,
week when we were like, "Oh, is this the first time he's hearing it?" I thought we were like, "No, she's heard this name before." But no, I don't think she has. I think Rhys is the first time that he says Amarantha.
yeah, but he definitely does say the page and a half before. So,
Yeah.
well, oh no, no, no. She's just thinking about. the fact that she knows the name now.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm thinking that the first time she hears it is from Rhys from
Oh, yeah,
last
yeah.
chapter and has not heard it before then.
Yeah. She just keeps hearing about her as her or
Yeah,
she
or
or
she, yeah.
whatever. Yeah. Yeah. Um I
I
also
Go
yeah.
ahead.
Oh, I was talking about Tamlin and his treaty bullshit, but do you have something before that?
Okay, yes, but I have something before that.
Okay.
So I could still feel the claw-tipped caresses of Rhysand's power scraping against my mind.
Mhm.
Meanwhile, Tamlin says, "It's not fine," he growled and grabbed one of my hands, wrenching my fingers from the sheets. Rhys
Everything with Rhys is
is just,
nice. Everything with Tamlin is
yes,
gross.
Rhys caresses and Tamlin wrenches her hand
And
twice.
grabs and growls.
The next page over, there's more wrenching. Like yeah. This happens
Yeah.
again that she uses this on page 246, right?
It's also weird to imagine, like, she's, like, gripping the sheets and he, like, yeah, like,
Yeah, and he does this while they're in pre-coital moments, right? Like they're about to get
uh,
it on, and it says, right,
it
he
was
growled
rough
softly
sounding.
and deftly flipped us over, spreading me out beneath him as he wrenched his lips from my mouth and made a trail of
Yeah.
kisses down my neck. There was no caressing. There was no
No.
softness. There was no I yearned for the heat. I felt the absence of his warmth immediately. Like none of that shit. It's
Yeah.
he pulled away real fast and said, "All right, I'm gonna kiss you some other places."
Yeah. Well,
What?
and it's like, I get it, like, you're trying to show he's a beast, he's wild, but, like, I just
So
think it's
is
a red flag.
so is Rhys, right?
Yeah, Rhys has a beast form.
Rhys has a fucking massive beast form, an intense one. And you
Yeah,
know
but just,
what?
like, thematically Beauty and the Beast,
No, I get it.
but
I
I
get it.
still I still think it's a red flag.
Yes. Yes. So there's this huge like juxtaposition between the way that she talks about Rhysand and the way that she talks about Tamlin, and it's already here
Mhm.
when we're supposed to be falling for Tamlin.
Yep.
Um, this treaty
He
pissed
just
me
decides,
off.
"Ah, fuck it."
I literally wrote, "This was an option the whole time, Tammy." For
Yeah, it just
200 pages, she's been like, "I need allies. I need to find something. I'm gonna go risk my fucking mortal life to find a Suriel
yeah,
that
to
wants
get
to
a
eat my
loophole.
goddamn soul, who's being chased down by Naga, who wants to eat all of their fucking souls, so that I can have someone tell me that there's no way to end the treaty, when in reality, there's a way to end the fucking treaty."
Yeah,
What? Yeah, so it's like,
it
really?
is
I'll
funny.
take on the life debt. It's fine. To who? Andrus is your subject. Who's gonna
Yeah.
come looking for the
Well, because there's
retribution?
no real treaty, so
Sure, but
that's
like also like if you just start thinking about it, you're like, okay, so if there's all the court systems
Mhm.
and I killed a member of the spring court, then I owe retributions to the High Lord of the Spring Court. How do you take on the life debt? He was yours to do with what you wanted to as the High
Yeah.
Lord.
I assume she just thinks that High Lords can do whatever they want with certain things, or stronger
I
than
mean,
magic
yeah,
and
yeah,
can
yeah, yeah,
break
yeah.
laws.
Sure,
But
sure, sure,
I mean,
sure.
if I'm Tamlin, I'm like, "Ooh, I
Also,
should have thought of a better story."
I am positive that by this point in the writing of the book, SJM already knew about chapter 54.
Okay, yeah, yeah, we were kind of talking
I
about that because,
I
yeah.
am I'm positive
And why do you say that?
because she mentions the Suriel like 4 times in this chapter. And that is one of
Oh,
the first like realizations in that chapter, is that when she, or that's the thing that she realizes.
wrong High Lord.
Exactly. And that's the
Yeah.
moment that she realizes that Rhys is her mate. And I think like you kind of have to drum that into the reader so that when she finds that out, it's just as catastrophic or as as big of an epiphany for the reader as it is for Feyre. And so I'm
Mhm.
like, oh, she knew exactly what she was doing already,
That's funny, yeah. Yeah.
but it's fun.
Um, It is. Yeah, there's no way it would be insane. I mean, if she did, if it was a retcon, she's crazy for that. But I don't think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, the treaty. I was just like, I don't know. Imagine if Lucian had been there if this wasn't like a fuck scene and if it was just them talking at the table. Lucian would be like, "But Tamlin, the treaty will kill you." And you know,
Yeah.
can you imagine? He could have easily actually diverted this, and then Feyre would be like,
Exactly.
"I'm not leaving." You know,
Also,
and
I really would have
yeah.
loved, even if it is a fuck chapter, for Lucian to be there.
I bet you would.
Like,
Maybe
give me
making
that,
things a little nicer.
yeah, give me that crazy eye, babe. Let's go.
Yeah.
He can retch around and poke around. How about you offer some caresses, Mister Fire in your veins? So when he says, right, so they're arguing. He says you have to go home, right? Because there
Mhm.
are people who would hurt you, blah blah blah. She says I can hold my own, and he says you can't because I can't. I can't even protect myself against them, against what's happening in Prithian. Even if we stood against the blight, they would hunt you down. She would find a way to kill you. And my question was, did you not already think about that problem before? Or did it not matter when you didn't care about the human? And now you
That
care about
one.
that's like he was like, cool, so I'm gonna go find a girl to fall in love with me, and she'll break the curse. And if Amarantha kills her for it, then so be it. I'm done. I'm good. Prithian
Mhm.
is free and her sacrifice is worth it. Um but yeah, so I was just like, why have you not thought about the risk to this human before? Because you didn't, because she was anonymous, because you didn't care, because it was a risk, a
Yes.
sacrifice that you were willing to make, and now that you like her, it's not her. Like, it's all about you, Tamlin. Also, I have a question about sending her home. I don't think he's actually. I think that there's a way to read this that is manipulative and not about saving her. This is the psychology of this chapter. Okay.
Okay.
Starts off, they're walking on eggshells. Tamlin is volatile. Someone needs to help regulate Tamlin's dysregulation. And when Tamlin is dysregulated, he is violent and he is a High Lord with fucking claws. That is a real problem. So now Feyre, who already is like, I like this guy, I want to stay here, I want to love him, but like not super love him, and knows how to survive, is going to be triggered into full survival mode. So then you're gonna start to mirror your like she's gonna start going through what kids of abusive parents go through, right? Where you have to like be the emotional fucking support animal for your parent. She has to be the emotional support dog for Tamlin, right? She has to like
Mhm.
kind of coax it and be a little bit soft and do the things, right? And so, one, she's already going into this being like, I need to tread lightly because he's mad and I need to be agreeable. And then he says something that she doesn't like. So I'm like, one, right? Step one is to create this uncertainty, create this environment where he is there's a need for her to make herself smaller to help him, right? And it's like this fear, right? The walking on eggshells. You can, if you create an environment where you have to walk on eggshells, you can kind of get people to kind of do a whole lot of things to just not be.
Tone down their own emotions and yeah.
Exactly. I can't think of the word for it, but there's a word for it, right? Where you like actually project, right? And you like not manipulate, but you have to be the one to help like
Mhm.
calm your parents down, right? And kids learn
Yeah.
that at an early age and it's fucking traumatizing and shit. So that's what's happening, right? Step two, sacrifice yourself for her, right? This fake shit. I'm gonna send you home. I can't stand it if you're not here, if you're gonna be hurt. It's not about her, it's about him still,
Yeah, I can't
right? I
Yeah.
can't do this, right? But she thinks that he's sacrificing for her, right? Whatever. And then he love bombs the fuck out of her, literally. Now all he has to do is
Yeah.
wait. All he has to do is wait for her to come back and save them. He is setting up the curse. He is setting up the circumstances for which she will say, fuck it, I'm going to go after this person because he needs me. Because The world is out to get him. And
You think he thought that she would come back, or do you think that she would have stopped at the last second and said
either way, I think
before kind of
either
calling her bluff?
either way, I think that he is trying to manipulate it to the point where she either says I love you last minute or that she is willing to sacrifice herself for him.
But no, the only thing with that is that they don't know that she's gonna be Feyre curse breaker, so there wouldn't be what does he
But
think?
that's
I
what they
mean,
hope she is, right? He brought her back
oh, so you mean
knowing
she'll come back because and then break the curse because she'll be willing to marry me?
somehow, I don't know, right? But
Yeah.
I think that there is a reading of this that is not the lovely I need you to go
Hmm.
home to be safe thing. I think that there is a way to read this that if I had a actual psychology degree, or if I took this chapter to an actual therapist, they'd be like, yeah, this is super typical abusive relationship shit
Hmm.
where
Yeah.
you create a fearful environment, you like make it seem like you're doing all the stuff for them when you're not, and you create this fear, right? There's this whole moment I wrote in here that's like, he's like, you need to go, I don't know, it's just so manipulative.
Yeah.
And then he like love bombs her and he's like, cool, so now I just have to wait it out because I've done all I can do. And again, I don't think it's a conscious decision where he's like making
Mhm.
an actual list. I think that this is just what manipulative, fucked up, stupid
Just what he
people
does.
do.
Yeah.
Like that's just what abusers do.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, I also think that there's a moment that she has that is completely fucking manipulative as too. So he's not the only one who is. It's a toxic relationship from the beginning, is what I'm getting at.
Hmm. Yeah. Um. I also wonder if because Rhys said I had to make him send you home. I had to make him afraid. So I wonder if Rhys maybe even also could be altering. I mean, it would fit with that as well. It makes, but I also think of Tamlin is essentially like an animal backed into a corner.
Yeah.
So this seems like sending her away has just always felt so weird to me because that's when maybe that's I don't know. I just feels like
I mean,
I don't
is
know.
is this the
It's
moment?
always been weird.
Is this the moment that he just is resigned to being whatever it is that Amarantha wants from him?
Yeah, maybe
Like,
that.
what
Yeah,
is the deal, right? So we know that there's this curse thing, but like, what is the actual thing she wants? She wants him, right?
yeah,
Is she going to let go of all of the High Lords and all of the power? Is she going to set free Prithian if he comes to her?
yeah.
Is that part of the stipulation? Is that I'm going to hold every fucking person by the gonads until you are my person?
Yeah.
Like, because
Yeah.
then
Maybe
why would
he.
it take for it? Why wouldn't he just be like, cool, let's make this happen? And then him be in her bed, and him be the only one to actually self sacrifice for the entire fucking continent, right? Because if the thing was like, I want to be with you, Tamlin, and if you're with me, then great, and you could just, I won't be a villain. But
Well,
what
I don't think I don't think they believe that she'll stop being a villain. I think they'll just
Yes,
think that
but was that
you
what
know,
she said in the beginning? Was it like, "I love you," and he was like, "Yeah, not really into you," and then that, like, be like,
spite.
the rejection turned her like this? Like, I can't remember what it was that set up the situation, and I feel
Yeah, it's because he made fun of her and her sister and Jurian. Um,
I thought that was Lucian, but maybe Tamlin too.
no, it's because basically because he said that's why she says a human girl has to fall in love with you is because he sort
Right.
of says that Jurian was a human and stuff like that and stuff.
Oh, because
Um,
yeah, he was like, she liked the human more
and
than
because
she liked
Amarantha
him.
hates humans and thinks of them as lesser and they could never do this kind of thing, so she thinks she's setting an impossible task.
Even
Um,
still, I just was like, what's the alternative? Like, are they I just so the 50 years runs out and he's resigned to just deal with his shit. So he's going to go under the mountain and that's just how it's going to be in Prithian for forever. She's just going to be this dictator.
yeah, I was to the
Like
question I had throughout the chapter was like, what is your plan, dude? You seem like you're just like well, and to be fair, it also would fit his character to just be like, I don't know. I don't wanna I don't like this feeling of scared for Feyre and I can't control it and I don't like feeling afraid, so I'm just gonna send her away. Like a
And
thoughtless
and
like you
I
just
could
follow any impulse you have.
I mean, he clearly doesn't love the idea of killing, right? He always comes back from whatever killings he does, like kind of, traumatized and like sad about doing. He has like that hunt vibe where he's just like, every time I'm forced to fucking kill something, it feels like shit.
Oh.
So
Never
like,
thought of him like that, but I guess so.
right, and so like maybe it's one of those like maybe he loves her fine, but it could also be like a, yeah, this isn't going exactly how I wanted, and she's gonna die. That's not that's not cool. I should probably just
Oh
say
yeah, he doesn't want favorites. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
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 Now, do, do I necessarily think that he doesn't want her to die because he's madly in love with her, or that he just has a bit of a conscience? I think he has a bit of a conscience.
Yeah.
I think he thinks he might be falling in love with her, but I don't think he ever actually was.
Yeah, well, and also, to be fair, I think the Rhys being in his mind and making him have that fear
Yeah.
would be one of the better explainers to me for this feeling because it has always even with all the thinking we've done about the decision, it still feels off. Like
Yeah.
but I'm like, but that would make sense if someone manipulated your actual
Yeah.
mind to do
That it was
that.
planted.
Then yeah,
Yeah.
because Rhys kind of the way he talks about it in Miss and Fury, he doesn't say, and I
Planted. What
put
do
it
you
in
think?
his mind to do that, or I made him do that, but, like, maybe he did it on accident because he was willing it himself so much that
Yeah.
or, like, I don't know. Or
I'm
he
okay
just
with
was able to look into Tamlin's mind, figure out what would make him most afraid,
yeah.
and then I don't know, but, that's the kind of theory that I like the most because it at least solves the problem of, like, this is a weird thing to do. Um
Yeah. Yeah.
as Lucian points out later. But I also thought the didn't you read between the lines line? Did he expect her to like get it based on what Rhys was saying? Is that what he means?
I
What does he
guess.
mean by that? Didn't you read between the lines? Like, I guess that we're so afraid and we're
Well, that
fucked.
or like I guess because like Resand at some point says like I'll see the three of you under the mountain soon.
Yeah.
Right? So like maybe there's enough for him to be like, did you not catch that was a fucking threat? Like maybe that's what not where she's supposed
Yeah.
to figure it out, but like did you not read between the lines that he was threatening all of us?
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Like
Maybe
I think
that's what
that
I
that's what
thought.
he's trying to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
This
That's
next
interesting. Yeah.
this thorn moment, if I can move over to the next page.
Uh huh.
This is when Feyre is manipulative. This is when Feyre is a bad arguer. And
Yeah.
I have I have also done this, so I know what this is. Right. I suppose
Yeah.
it'd be easier if I'm gone. Who wants someone around who's so covered in thorns, right? It's because you can't win the argument, so you go, well, I guess I'm just the worst. I guess
Yeah.
what you're saying is I'm just the worst mom ever. I've done that. It's not great. I know. And then I have to stop and be like, oh, that was kind of fucked up and completely illogical.
Which is
And
funny because also if you take that and usually the thing is you're not a bad person, stop saying that you're being manipulative,
yeah.
right? So if you take that to this, he says, "I love you, thorns and all. I love you even though you're a bad person." Like
Yes. Yes.
he never
Well,
refutes
and I
it.
was like, she's also cornering him into saying something nice. She's cornering him
Yeah.
into disagreeing with her. She's forcing a conversation that he doesn't and forcing words that could be manipulated into changing his mind, right?
And also he doesn't. He
No, he
just doesn't
doesn't.
he doesn't say you're not thorny. He just reverts back to the other
Yeah.
conversation and be like, "It's not
But like
forever."
yeah, and so but that's what like she's trying, right? Because what he could have
Yeah.
said is like I want you around. I love you're not thorny. I want you here. I want you with me. And then she could have been like, there's my in. See, you want me
Uh-huh.
here. I need to be here. It's a thing and like can keep going with it. And like
Yeah.
this is and manipulative might be a strong word, but this is a argumentative style that
Uh-huh.
tries to corner the person into being like I didn't say that you were shitty to be around. I'm saying I want you to be safe, right? And
Yeah.
she's like, "No, I'm going to do this in a way that is like he if he agrees with this statement, then he's a dick."
Uh-huh.
And
And
he's like,
I will say maybe he said not forever because it's that's his way of saying like I'm not going to entertain that thought. because it's not true. But I still think it's a little fucked up to not reassure somebody who, because usually when you say that in a conversation, it's because you kind of really think that,
Yeah.
and you're like saying it out of anger as manipulation. But I don't know, when some like I don't know. I
Yeah,
think it's funny that he never reassures her.
he never said, yeah, he doesn't say like, you're not prickly, you're not bad to be around. He's just like, it's not forever, Feyre. And she's like, I knew it was a lie, but I kissed
Yeah.
him. And he's like, Jesus Christ, like she's not gonna. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep going here. She's going home tomorrow.
Yeah.
Um,
Or maybe he was even like, "Hey, she needs a good distraction. This will shut her
okay,
up."
but this is when I said, is she sleeping with him out of desire or passion, or out of fear, or both? And because it's this moment, right? So they're having this conversation. She doesn't want to leave. He's asking her to leave. She tries this tactic where she's like, well, who would want me anyways? And
Uh-huh.
instead of him being like, I want you, I just want to keep you safe, and like keeping that conversation going, he's like, is not having it. So that strategy doesn't work. So what's her next strategy? Bang him. Right? And like, I don't want to be a dick about it, but it's like, yeah, sometimes that's the thought process where you're like, cool. So I'm not winning this argument. Maybe I can win it a different way.
Yeah, and to be fair, maybe they're both thinking this. Like maybe he's like, I'm gonna distract her and she's gonna stop this
Yep.
conversation.
Yep.
And then she's like, I'm gonna win him over this way. Because they when they're done, they kind of pick it back up almost. And he's like, you're still going home. And she's like,
Yeah.
like
I have such thoughts for the lack of romance in this fucking chapter,
some
and
pillow talk. You gotta get out
why
at
the
dawn, bitch.
fuck I was like, "Aw, yes, this is the love story that I want." And I was like, "Jesus, Sam, what were you thinking?" Um yeah, it doesn't it I don't know. It seems I think that there's a level of desperation in the decision to have sex on both of them, and it's not the desperation that is because of passion and because they want each other, but the
No.
desperation of like, I'm gonna try to win this argument right now.
Yeah. And we know they do like each other as well. So it's
Sure, I
like,
don't think it's all completely fucked
yeah,
up. I just think that it's not.
it is funny.
I think it's a little toxic.
Yeah.
In the ways that books like this in the genre talk about passion and attraction and like needing it right then and there, right? Having to be completely consumed, all the things. That's not what this feels like. There's a moment, right? There's some stuff where she's like, I need him in me now. But like, it's one sentence, right? And it's not this all consuming, like, I don't know. It just,
Yeah.
it's
It's
there.
no chapter 54.
It's exactly. It's just it seems there just is a little bit of desperation in the choices to be intimate
Mhm. Yeah.
in
Um,
ways that don't feel like yes, finally, right? More of a like,
yeah, and the bittersweetness comes from the fact that she is going home, so it's built in there. But yeah,
honestly, I
it's
think
very
it's from the fact that he
interesting.
doesn't fucking stay the night, but that is
He
for
doesn't?
the that's oh, it's for the next page. I have so many fucking thoughts. But anyways, also, so my entire world constricted to the touch of his lips on my skin. Okay, so she zoomed into just Tamlin. Everything beyond them, beyond him, was a void of darkness and moonlight. Everything around her that she's
Saying
ignoring,
Rhys watching?
I'm just saying that everything that is around her that she is ignoring,
Darkness and moonlight.
just saying, like she the where she's supposed to be, right? It may not be Rhysand, but like there she is his mate. There is a mate bond. There is already connection. So everything that is beyond Tamlin and is
Mm.
beyond just this singular sensation between her and Tamlin, everything else is a void of darkness and moonlight. And I just think that that speaks to where her focus is versus where her soul belongs.
Mm. Yeah, I underlined that line because it has the word void in it, and I was underlining every instance of void, and I was like, that's a little crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do like the idea that could also be Rhys being a cuck. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. He's not watching. He
I
would
mean,
be
not
very
yet.
sad.
Once he's got the once she's got the pawn, do you think that if she's like boop boop on Tamlin, that he's like, ah, I don't wanna see Tamlin's cock in your hand. Can you use
What a
it better?
vein.
I would do some shit like that, though. Could you imagine if I was actually enemies with somebody? I'd be like, "Oh, hold on, come let me jerk you off with this eyeball right now."
Oh
He
my
wants to
god.
see me? No, you're gonna see Tammy.
Oh my
I'm the
god.
worst. This is gonna get us
That
not
probably did
monetized.
happen. That
Yeah.
probably
Oh,
actually
yeah,
straight up
yeah,
did
yeah,
happen.
just
Yeah,
like,
that's funny.
Jesus Christ, yeah.
Like,
Ugh,
better
could
close
you
that out.
imagine, like, knowing that that's your mate and you're just getting, like, images of her with somebody, like, literally banging somebody else? It's the worst. Ugh. Anyhow,
Yeah.
um,
Um, and
I
then yeah.
I made a note about how he takes her underpants off.
Oh, the third paragraph down.
Yeah.
What's your note?
I mean, I just underlined it, and here's my thing. I have read dark romance. This
I have not.
feels icky to me, though, right? So he's touching her.
Mhm.
One Wolverine claw pops out and cuts her underpants, retracts back in real quick, and then shooby doop, he's right up into her business. Now, don't get me wrong. I've read a book where she rides the handle of a knife. So, like, it happens, I suppose, that people like things a little risque. That's fine. But something about this, like, means of dexterity, I don't know. I was just like, really? Just pull
It
them
just was like
down.
I just didn't like it. It just seems like yeah, it feels like is your beast form inherently sexual? Are you like do you go in your beast form because you're fucking got a boner and you're like, why is this involved right now? Like, I
Yeah,
don't know.
I also think that it adds to this
Like
level of
danger,
danger,
predator.
of fear, of power dynamics that I don't like.
I just
Rhys
see
and
this
Feyre,
cartoonish claw, like
yes.
I see this weird animated claw in my hand. I don't like it.
Yes, but also, like, Feyre and Rhys, right, as we know them, are equals.
Yeah.
There's a give and take, there's a push and pull of their intimacy, and this feels like a reminder of who has control. And
Yeah.
I don't like it.
She's got the delicate panties, he's got the sharp claw.
And I don't like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
That's I just kind of was like, okay.
yeah, I
I
mean,
just
I
I did but
underlined it.
I did I see your point.
I didn't write a bunch of stuff next to it. I just underlined it and was kind of like, that's a ick for a minute.
Yeah. What'd
Um,
you think about breathed he breathed my name in onto my chest?
I mean, he's just playing with titties. That's all.
Okay. I just thought it was interesting
That's all. That's
because
all I.
there's an exchange of that line too. She breathes his name onto his skin too.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just like
Hmm.
it's just back when I was underlining every instance of name, but also
Well, but I mean, yeah, she speaks his name into his skin. He speaks her name into her skin.
there's something weird about that. Like I feel like it's usually written like he moaned my name instead of like onto my skin. Like there's a
Yeah.
weird
Well, like
positional
Aelin
thing.
has nameless etched into her skin.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, and it's I don't really think like this is a nameless, but like I'm like,
No,
what
it
is
could.
this though?
Yeah.
It feels like something.
It does
Um,
feel like something.
you know what gave me the biggest fucking ick?
What's that?
If we keep going, I won't be able to stop at all. Motherfucker, if she, he just says, after a certain point, I could be a rapist. Like, okay, you wish she could just decide no, and then you're gonna be like, sorry, can't stop.
That cannot be our TikTok, by the way, because I just laughed. Like, that's hysterical. It's only hysterical because of the absurdity of it,
Just
not because
shock it,
of the
yeah.
content.
But like, why
Yeah,
would he
no,
say that?
it's
It's such a
gross.
douchebag
It's
line.
it's a fuckboy line. It's
Yeah, it really is.
gross.
I won't be
We
able to
have the right,
stop.
and I think that
Ugh.
that could have also been, especially in this genre of writing, where women have this, like, where, like, characters have this higher level of consent kind of written into the story in ways that other genres haven't in the past.
And she does give consent, but it still was like,
Sure, but, like, no, I have the right to revoke consent at any time, Clawman. What the fuck? You got
yeah.
Freddy Krueger's up underneath there, and you want to tell me that I can't say no at some point? Fuck off.
I mean, plenty of other people have said things like this, but will they say it like, this is like for real? Are you sure you want to this
Yeah.
is the final stretch. Sorry, that feels like a dick joke, but like
No, but
it's
yeah.
like here it is. Are you sure? And
And
so
it
that's
could
fine. But he says
say
it listen shuts it grows
yeah,
away.
he could say things like, "If we keep going, it will be hard to stop," or "I won't want to stop."
Yeah.
Like, all of those would work, but "I won't be able to stop at all?" Tamlin.
Yeah, the at all just drives it home.
Yeah.
It's just like
This is also why I'm so fucking pissed at myself because there's so many goddamn red flags in this chapter, and the first time I read this, I was like, "This is a lovely little moment." This is like, Jesus Christ, Sam, but, I mean, that also speaks to, like, maybe how much I was, like, into this, like, I was in it,
Mhm.
and that's
But
how you're
that's also a commentary in itself is like you
she
can
does
just get
she
swept
does
up.
she yes, and SJM does a beautiful job of having the reader get into an abusive relationship and not realize it, and it's kind of
Yeah.
beautifully horrific. I think it is
Yeah.
one of the greatest strengths of ACOTAR is that we fall for Tamlin.
One of the greatest strengths of this book is that we become abusive.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah, it's
'Cause
yucky.
it's just so textbook, right? The love bombing, the fear mongering, like, I need you to help me control my emotions, and the narcissism, all the stuff that's
Yeah.
built into this that, like, we don't see it until hindsight. I think it's kind of genius.
Yeah. Dude. Yeah.
I have a note on the next page.
I the only other note I have for this entire chapter is that the sex moment was so kind of a weirdly violent, visceral, slashing, like,
Mhm.
and I was like, yuck. And that's it. That's the only notes I had. But yeah, you have other stuff?
I don't know what I thought of this, but I underlined it because I was like, "That seems like a thing, but I don't know what it is." So
Oh, beast freed of its tether?
no, no, no. So
Okay.
it's on the next page. It's the second paragraph down, the small one. It says, "The full force of that wild, unrelenting High Lord's power focused solely on me, and I felt the storm contained beneath his skin, so capable of sweeping everything I was away, even in his lessened state." So again, power dynamics. It's gross.
Yeah.
Right, she feels empowered because all of this power is solely on her, and she has the total and utter attention of this High Lord who could end her in a second. But it
Yeah.
also is the fact that she's underneath, literally
Mhm.
underneath a beast who could, quote, "sweep away everything that I was."
Yeah.
And granted, there's an empowerment moment for the choice. She's like, I could throw all I had at him and he wouldn't balk, right?
Yeah.
So like, she's like, hell yes, I could be a little freak right now, and I can push and I can pull and I can scratch and I can do all the things, and it's not gonna it's not gonna phase him. Which, if that's what you're into, great. You need
Yeah.
yourself a tough guy, right? Maybe Isaac Hale is a fucking weak little shit, and she wants it differently. Great, fine. That's lovely. But it
Yeah.
just felt like, what? And then even though, like, I could throw all that I was at him and he wouldn't balk. And then I'm like, well, what is all that you are, Feyre?
Yeah,
Because
I
if
mean,
you're
to me, I just heard this as like human and like, but this is part of why I don't love the predator thing, which I think is
yeah,
just a thing in fae romance and
it
stuff,
is.
or like in a lot of fantasy stuff. And I've just never like loved that. She does it with Reese too. Like
Yeah,
she doesn't
yeah.
actually she does it less with Reese, I think, but she definitely still talks about like his power and his like
Yeah.
whatever. But yeah, I honestly those are like good examples of like I just think it's too cheesy. I think the Thorns line is cheesy, and I think this is cheesy.
Yes, but the
And I'm
Thorns
just like,
line
it's
being cheesy as dialogue is better than it just being cheesy as the
yes.
author's
And I like
words.
your take on the line. That is more interesting.
Yeah.
But I just like it just feels like okay, yeah, you had to get your metaphor out there. Like, it just that's
Yeah.
like just sticks like and I'm like ultra sensitive. Like anything that sticks out at all that makes me think, oh, the writer was trying to do X, Y, or Z, that makes me mad because I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't want to be seeing your seams. Make it seamless. Like, um, And so that this kind of little paragraph was just like,
Mhm.
I don't know. I was like, "Oh, your editor said add some emotional resonance in here," and so
Mhm.
you did. Like, but it's fine. It's
Yes.
okay. But yeah, I don't love the that feeling either. Um, and kind of the rest of the sex scene is just kind of like it's supposed to be wild, which is supposed to denote passion,
Sure.
but you know, devastatingly gentle on my hips as he with his claws. Like, okay, I don't know.
He's fucking you with his claws out, babe.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I just think that it's all power. It's just a power dynamic, and I think it creates the like she is lesser and he is greater, and that's what this is. Doesn't feel like equals to me. I think it feels like a reminder of the power dynamics between the two of them, and that they are
Mhm.
unequal power dynamics.
Very unequal. Yes.
Um, I straight out called Tamlin a fuckboy on the next page. This is what made me feel like the sex was not about emotion and passion, it was about a strategy. Because he
Okay.
fucking leaves, right? Like, she's like, I fell asleep in his arms and I woke a few hours later. Okay, so let's say that it's 8
Okay.
o'clock, right? So it's 8 o'clock when they first bang a rang, right? 9 o'clock, let's give Tamlin an hour. That's absurd, but okay, it's a fantasy book. Cool. So
Like
9 o'clock,
midnight or something.
yeah. So 10 o'clock. Okay. She falls
Yeah.
asleep in his arms at 10 o'clock and she wakes up a few hours later. We're talking 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, right? They fuck again. And then he leaves in the middle of the night. He says, we should sleep. Not together. I'm going to go to my room. We should,
And he always does that when in the
yes.
next
We
or well, they
never,
always have separate
we
rooms.
never see Tamlin's room ever.
Never.
Never,
Yeah.
ever, ever. So we should sleep. You have a long journey tomorrow. She goes, I'm sorry, what? Tomorrow? Yeah, yeah, Dawn, you be leaving this bitch. Right? And she's like, but it's fair, please. He's like, not even into it, right? I've already gotten off. I've gotten you off fucking 3 times. Please, can we stop this argument? I win. Claws out, I win. And then she says, stay. And if I stay, you won't get any sleep. Ew. Ew.
Yeah. That's right.
He doesn't say, if I stay, we won't get any sleep, or if I stay, I won't get any sleep. If I stay, you won't get any sleep. I might sleep, but you're not gonna. We get there in book 2, so we know that dynamics. Apparently, he's aware of that system.
It's funny.
And then she's like, "Stay. I promise to keep my hands to myself." And he's like, "No." He doesn't even tell her no again. She's like, "I'll keep my hands to myself." He gave me a half smile and told me he knew it too, but nestled down, blah, 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 whatever, right? So he
Mhm.
gives her a hug and he strokes her hair like a child.
I know. I don't like that kind of, yeah.
And then he puts her to sleep.
He was gone. Yeah, I didn't realize that. Even though it's the last line, he was
He,
gone when I awoke.
no, no, no. But an immense exhaustion was pulling me away from consciousness. He
Oh, you think it's
put
a
her
spell?
to sleep. He said, I'm done arguing with this bitch. Go to bed.
That's fucked up. I just thought she felt
He
like
said,
I think it's supposed to read as she's comfortable and at peace, and so
but
she
in the
falls
next
asleep easily.
chapter, we
But
know it's possible because they put her to sleep for the journey back home. It's not impossible. He put her to sleep to get there. He puts her to sleep to go. He puts her to sleep to get out of fucking arguments. He said, "Thank you for the dick touches. Please stop talking."
Ew.
Like,
Oh my
it's
god, I want to see
so
what the
it's so not okay. And yeah, she says that she can smell, like, so in the next chapter when she's put to sleep, she's like, magic stuffs up my nose, whatever. So we don't have that here. So we're like, oh, she's just so
hmm.
tired from fucking. An immense exhaustion. She was just like, I'll keep my hands to myself. I knew it was a lie. She's ready to stay up all night fucking.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden she's so exhausted she can't keep her eyes open. That's a spell. That's magic.
That's funny. Okay, I totally did not read it at all like that because because I think I've seen it in like other books too, where it's like you're with your person and you can finally sleep. The girl who has a hard time sleeping sleeps perfect. Like it's like feels like
Yes,
one of those
but
things,
he's
but
leaving.
it totally seems weird.
He's leaving. If anything, that
Yeah.
would make her anxious.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Also,
I actually thought he'd
I
stay
don't
for a
like,
long time.
little insight into single past Sammy's life, but there is like kind of no worse feeling than hooking up and being into the dude and him being like, "Cool, I'm gonna go home."
Mm.
That is a fuck boy move. That's like, thanks. I'll call you later.
Yeah, and
Right? And not
I
only
have
is he not gonna
yeah.
call later because he's sending her home at dawn. He's not like, I'll see you at breakfast, babe. Okay. I wanna sleep. If I stay here, I'm gonna wanna keep all the things. I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
It's still icky. Like, this is the first time you guys are having sex. You're gonna go?
Yeah, and I'm sure he probably is his cover is that he's gotta go get hers, figure out what he's gonna send with her, and figure it
No,
out
he's
blah blah
going
blah,
into
but
his
I
room to
doubt
shower
so.
off her human scent. That's what he's doing. He's like, well, that was
Ugh.
a lot of fucking work. I gotta bathe this off me. Thanks. Now I gotta pack her up and tell Alice to put her in a stupid dress and let her be on her way. Like,
Oh, that is such a good parallel. Tamlin's always putting in her dresses she fucking can't stand.
yes. He's just like, he walked out of that room and he made it to his room as fast as possible. He washed as quickly as possible before he ran into anybody. And then he came back out and was like, "Hey, Alice, she's going home in the morning. Make sure she's packed, KK." And he probably walked past Lucian, and Lucian was like, "Are you dumb?" And he's like, "Don't even talk to me, my dude." And he went to bed. Not a fucking care in the world.
The Tamlin lovers are gonna come for our throats.
I don't care.
I mean, there is a reading where he, is being
Is what?
genuine. He
Is
just
what?
likes her,
Is
but
what?
I do think it's more likely
Is
that this
sitting up
is.
at night being like, "Oh God, I love her. I don't want her to go tomorrow, but I just have to let her go." He's not fucking biting his claw nails in his bedroom right now. He's washing his dick and going to bed.
Oh my god. Yeah. I didn't think that much about the dressing except for that it was weird that it was so detailed. Um, but now I'm like, oh, because okay, my thing with Tamlin in the second book is that Rhys is about real connection, Tamlin's about feigned connection. He's never intimate, and he's all about aesthetics, right? This is
Mm-hmm.
the thing with the water wraith and stuff. But now that we were sort of talking about that, and I was like, oh, this is another time where she is dressed up in this dress that's ridiculous because of how she needs to appear to her
Mm-hmm.
family, and then with the wedding dress, she needs to appear like a High Lord's wife, and that's why she has that stupid ass dress.
Yeah.
But the dress thing will be a little key to next week.
Yeah, there is a couple of things that I did say, right?
Mm.
So, or I had two more notes. So,
Oh, okay.
right, we do the immense exhaustion thing, right? Where I'm like, that's Tamlin putting her to sleep. That's fucked up.
Mhm.
Um, we get another call to the Suriel, right?
Where are the other ones? Because this is the only one I noticed.
She
You said four
says
times, or maybe it's in the next chapter. She mentions it. I think.
she says it in this chapter when she talks to him, when she's talking to Feyre, when they're arguing about her leaving. So
Oh yeah, the serial said there was
yeah,
no.
yeah, right. She's
Okay.
like, "What do you mean? The serial said there was no way or whatever." And he's like, "They can come after me if they have a fucking problem with it." So one, we get a serial mention here, and then we get that the next one on the last page here, and then we get another one in chapter 28 when she's like,
Okay. So it's just
so
those
like,
two.
so yeah, so it's just those
Yeah.
two in this chapter. We get another one in that chapter, but we've already had two, maybe three callbacks to the serial since the conversation with
Hmm.
the serial. So I'm just saying, like, there's a reason why. That's why my inclination is that SJM was well aware of what she was going to do with Feyre
Yeah.
and Rhys at this stage because of those very large breadcrumbs of the Suriel so that we remember it, right? If she had just mentioned it once and even just said it, like, say, she had the conversation with the Suriel and said, stay with the High Lord. And then when she's leaving, she's like, but the Suriel said that there was no way to go about it. And that's
Hmm.
all we get. No one's going to remember the Suriel said, stay with the High Lord, right? We get
Yeah.
this internal, like, repetition, stay with the High Lord, stay with the High Lord, stay with the High Lord. Specifically, I think we get it 3 or 4 times in this book. And so, yeah, and so we know that that's what the message was, that's what was stuck. And so I think that that's why when the revelation happens that she was actually, it was talking about Rhys, it makes it work because she
Hmm.
laid the
Yeah.
groundwork well. And coming back to it, knowing that that's what happens, it makes the foreshadow be like, oh, here we are again. Oh, there's another mention.
Yep.
Because you don't really get all of that. Like, when you're reading through it the
You
first time, you
remember
don't
it, yeah.
remember how many times she mentioned the fucking Azriel because you don't think it's an important thing.
Yeah.
You're like, got it. She can't get over this fucking one conversation she had with one person. Like, fuck, man. And then you're like, oh shit, that's important. Okay, cool. But yeah, so
Yeah.
I thought it was an interesting insight to the writing process of how to set that up. I also think that it is such a bitch move to say I love you, thorns and all, as she's fallen asleep.
Yeah, it does have a very cinematic feeling to the end of the chapter, It feels like I can almost see it in a movie or something, but
Yeah.
yeah.
But here were my questions. Okay. Let's say that Tamlin is not a shitty human or shitty fae, right? That he's saying I love you as she's falling asleep. I'm like, does him falling in love with her or saying I love you or some, like, does that nullify the curse? Is there a problem if he falls in love with her? I don't think there is. But I'm like,
No.
okay, maybe benefit of the doubt where he's like, oh, she's asleep. I can say this now because it's not going to fuck up the curse.
He's
I
trying
don't
to
think
brainwash her.
I said, or is he planting it? He
Yeah.
is planting it
I've always thought he was planting it,
because
actually.
Rhys says she would have been the one if she wasn't so stubborn. And so Tamlin's like, fuck, I gotta pull it out now. Right?
Mhm.
Here's the thing. Like Rhys saying that she would be the one,
I forgot
this
he says it like that.
yes, he was like she would be yours, she would be the one or whatever if you both weren't so stubborn. So Tamlin's like, okay, now I gotta pivot my strategy here and make her fearful enough to say I love you faster than she would normally say it. Right? So he's like,
Fearful
cool.
enough, yeah.
Yeah, like I'm gonna have a tantrum. I'm gonna create a fucked up situation where she's already on edge and she's already trying to appease me. Then I'm gonna send her away. I'm gonna turn my affection. It's sacrifice. It's to save you, but I'm still gonna push you away. So not only do you want to help me not feel like shit already, now I'm pushing you away, which is gonna make you want to help me even more. All he's doing is creating a need in her to help him. He
Yeah.
pushes her away, love bombs her,
Which
then
does work.
pushes her away again by saying, I'm gonna go. So all of it is feeding into this, like, I gotta make her want it. I gotta make her want me. I gotta make her want to help me. I gotta make her, like, all these things.
Yeah.
And then at the very end of it, he's like, well, last ditch effort. I'm gonna go ahead and say I love you
Yeah.
as she's falling asleep to maybe push that just a little bit further so that she will be encouraged tomorrow when she is super scared to never see me again, that she will finally fucking say it.
Yeah. Now I will say, like, on a first read or the more generous reading is that he's just, because his thing is that he's afraid of intimacy, can never be real with her, like in the second book when he never wakes up with her, he never helps her when she's vomiting. That it's the only time he could muster up his courage to say it, or
Sure.
maybe he was practicing. Um but you don't think that the one thing I don't think I could ever buy into is that he thought that she would come from the human realms to save them. He's just hoping that
No,
he can call her bluff and she'll say it before she leaves.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Just making
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. No, I don't
Uh
think that. No, I think that he thinks that she's not actually going to go home because she's going to say, I love you, and it's going to break the curse, and then he'll send her home and hide her. Um, yeah, I don't know. I this whole chapter, rereading it with all the hindsight of all the things, I was just like, wow, this is a toxic ass situation right now, and I'm not into it. But okay, so next week we will do chapter 28. When
yeah.
Feyre leaves, there's some cryptic Lucian activity happening.
Yeah.
There's some weird family dynamics happening. And I'm really excited to read these next few chapters knowing that Nesta is aware of what is happening. Because hindsight is real fun to read some of these chapters. But yeah, so I will see you next week. And to the stars who listen, we'll do chapter 28 next time.
Yeah.